Namaste, yogis. Welcome to today's gentle somatic yoga. This one is going to target our hips and our pelvis today. So we are just going to take that comfortable seated position on our mats. And I do invite you, feel free to use pillows, blankets, maybe a yoga strap, a few yoga blocks, whatever makes this practice comfortable for your body. Yoga is for everybody. I do invite you, we're going to drop our shoulders down away from our ears, taking the palms facing upward on our knees. I invite you to take a few settling breaths here. Your eyes can be open, gaze soft, or eyes closed. I invite you to take that right hand to the heart, left hand to the tummy, continuing with that settling breath. We're going to release those hands just beside us on our mat. And I invite you, we're going to maybe imagine we're cupping cupcakes with our hands. So fingertips to the mat, lengthening throughout our spine. I invite you to take an inhale, and we're going to take an exhale as we take that yogi gaze to the left. Taking a few settling breaths here. I now invite you, we're going to take that yogi gaze forward. Inhale and exhale. Take that yogi gaze to the right. Continuing with that breath. And then we're going to release it. Let it go. I do invite you, we're going to take the palms on our knees, dropping those shoulders a few times down away from the ears. Relieving any stress or tension you may be carrying today. Let it go. I now invite you, we're going to plant that right hand beside us on the mat. Breath in as you take left hand to the sky. Exhale as you open that left torso. Taking a few settling breaths. We're now going to just transition to that left side, planting left hand to your mat, extending right hand a little further over to the left, opening up that right torso, continuing with our breath. And on your inhale, we're going to roll the body, settling to that easy pose. Exhale. So I now invite you, we're going to settle to that beautiful butterfly pose, that Baddha Konasana. So we are going to take the soles of our feet touching. If you want to go a little deeper, you can take the feet closer into your body. Hands to those toes. Lengthen from the crown of that head to that pelvic floor grounded to our mat. We're just going to take a few settling breaths. can have movement in the legs if you would like, or you can embrace that stillness on your mat today. And we're going to release it as we take the legs, just opening the legs wide. We're now going to take our arms, hands like you're reaching out in front of you, setting up tall from the crown of our head to that pelvic floor, grounded to our mat. I do invite you, we're going to make that reaching motion forward with our hands and then roll the body up straight a few times. I now invite you, we're going to breathe in, hands to the sky. And on your exhale, we're going to take the hands to those ankles, toes, shins, wherever your body goes here. Taking a few breaths, opening up those hips, opening up that pelvic floor today. Being mindful, we do have length from the crown of our head. You don't want that mid-back to be hunched over. Find that length as you breathe. And we're going to release it. Let it go. I do invite you, we're going to transition here as we hug that left foot to the upper right thigh. And then we're going to just start walking the hands to that right toe, ankle, shin, wherever your body goes. Taking a few settling breaths here. On your inhale, we're going to rainbow arm with the left arm over to that left side of our mat. Releasing right hand to the sky. Feel free to lift that pelvic floor away from your mat if you would like. And then take pelvic floor back down to the mat. Hands over to that right leg and foot. So a few times here with this movement, rainbow arm with that left hand to the mat. Lift pelvic floor away. Take an exhale as you have a seat and fold to the right. A few more times with this movement. One more time. And we're going to release it. I now invite you, we're going to switch that movement to the opposite direction. So extending that left leg, about a 45-degree angle here, making those few adjustments, hugging right foot in to that left thigh. Start walking hands to the left foot, ankle, toes, wherever your body goes here. Taking a few settling breaths. I now invite you, rainbow movement with that right arm and hands going to plant to the mat. Left hand to the sky. You have the option to lift the pelvic floor here. Going into that big movement. Pelvic floor to the mat. Exhale, fold to the left. So a few times here. One more time. And we're going to release it, let it go. Maybe do a few shoulder rolls, taking it back to that easy pose here. Just do what feels good to your body. Maybe a few neck stretches. I now invite you, we're going to take the body to that strong tabletop position on all fours today. Taking an inhale, we're going to drop our belly, open yogi heart, yogi gaze upward. And on your exhale, round that upper spine, taking that yogi gaze to the front of that mat. Inhale, drop that belly, yogi heart open, yogi gaze up. Exhale, round upper spine, yogi gaze to the front of that mat. Getting into your own breath and body movement here. Settling into that strong tabletop. I do invite you, we're going to take the knees a little bit wider today. Pointing the toes together, taking forearms to the mat. So I invite you to start a gentle rock back and a rock forward. A few times here. They call these hammock rocks. It's going to help with stability and strength in that pelvic floor area. I do invite you, we're going to settle to that wide child's pose. Taking 5 settling breaths. We're going to start transitioning the body, settling to all fours, adjusting the knees, taking them in a little closer beside each other. I do invite you, we're going to start tucking our toes and then walking the hands to the body. I do invite you, hands, heart center, chest. We're going to take a few breaths here, giving the feet, toes, and ankles a little love today. I do invite you, releasing the hands to our hips, and we're going to lift the body away from those heels. We're going to flatten the top of the feet on our mat. So we're going to take a little transition here with the right foot as you step it forward in a low lunge. And I want you to sink a little deeper and then roll it back to that half split. But we are going to keep our hands to the hips. A few times here. I now invite you, we're going to roll the body forward into that low lunge. We're going to take the hands around to the low spine, interlocking our fingertips. Sink a little deeper into the right hip. Open yogi heart, Yogi gaze up. Take a few breaths here. I now invite you, we're going to release it. Let it go, settling to the half split. Take a few breaths. And then we're going to make that transition as we take that right knee to the mat. Tabletop position. Breath in, drop our belly, open yogi heart, yogi gaze up. And exhale, round that upper spine, yogi gaze to your mat. Getting into this flow of our breath and body movement. I now invite you, we're going to start tucking those toes, walk those hands into the body one more time. Take a few settling breaths here, giving those feet, toes, and ankles a little love. I now invite you, take the body away from those heels, letting the top of the feet go to your mat. Hands to the hips. We're going to work that left side now with that low lunge, taking left foot forward. Rock the body forward and then rock it back as you open up the left hamstring a few times today. I now invite you, release the hands around to that low spine as you interlock the fingertips. Sink a little deeper to that left hip. Open yogi heart, yogi gaze up, and breathe. We're going to release it, settling to that half split for a few settling breaths. And now we are going to transition here, having a seat on our mat. You want the left leg to be grounded to your mat and just let the right knee stack on top of that left knee. Left hand to the mat, breath in, right hand to the sky. You can even open it a little deeper as you open that right torso here. Take a few settling breaths. If you want to add some shoulder movement, maybe a gentle circle. And we're going to release it. We're going to change up those sides. So take right hip and knee to the mat, stacking that left knee on top of your right knee. Right hand grounded to the mat, breath in, left hand to the sky, and you can extend it over if you would like to that right side. Take a few breaths here. Feel free to start some circular motions with that left arm. And one more big circle and relax. So we are going to lie the body back on the ground. Taking the feet to the mat, knees are going to be bent here. I do invite you to take the hands to the tummy. And we're going to take a few settling breaths here. I do invite you, we're going to take the hands to the thighs, and we're going to let the lower legs kind of dangle here. We're going to extend the arms as they hang on to the thighs, letting the feet dangle a few breaths. I now invite you, we're going to start hip circles. Being mindful of the movement and our breath. Exhale, you're going to take the knees into the body and then circle around on the inhale a few times, and be mindful we're going right and left sides. I now invite you, we're going to take the knees a little closer into our body, keeping the hands where they are. Take a few settling breaths here. So we're going to take the knees a little further away from the body to where your arms are still hanging on to the upper thighs. Extending those arms, letting the feet dangle. I now invite you, we're going to take the left foot to the sky. You're going to feel it in the hamstring. You can continue to bend that knee and then take the foot to the sky a few times on this left side today. I now invite you, we're going to let that left foot dangle and then start that movement with the right foot to the sky. Take a few breaths. And then bend that right knee, letting the right foot dangle. And then start that movement again. Foot to the sky. Let it dangle. I now invite you, we're going to let those feet go to the mat. Let the arms simply fall to the side of your body. So we're going to take the feet wide. I now invite you, we're going to take the legs just over to the left. Keeping our gaze to the sky. You don't want to turn the neck here. Just keep it gazing up. And then I invite you, take that right arm over the head. Taking a few breaths here. I now invite you, releasing right hand beside the body, and then roll the knees to center, and then take that movement the opposite side. Feel free to take that left arm over the head here, taking a few breaths. We're going to roll the body to center, keeping the knees bent, letting the left hand just fall to the side of your body. And then we're going to start the movement with our hips, taking it to the left. Roll it to center and let it fall to your right. Keeping that yogi gaze Center, just gazing up. Not turning our neck here. We're working our low body, that pelvis and hip area. I now invite you, we're going to take the body to center. Take the hands to the upper thighs, roll the knees into the body, taking a few breaths. And we're going to release the feet to the mat, continue with our knees bent. I do invite you to take that right knee to the left knee, or the right foot to the left knee, apologies. And we're going to take our hands, threading them through the upper left thigh, taking a few breaths here. Feel free to start a little circular movement with that left hip area. And we're going to let it go, letting left foot go to the mat and releasing the right foot to the mat. Let the hands fall to the side of your body, letting the knees fall to the right, and then let them fall to the left a few times. I now invite you, we're going to roll the body to center. And we're going to take that movement to the opposite side. Left foot to the right knee, hands to the upper right thigh. Gentle pull into that body. Take a few settling breaths here before we start those little circular motions. I now invite you, start those little circular motions as you hang on to the upper right thigh. Let that pelvic floor just make little circles. And we're going to release it, letting the right foot go to the mat as well as that left foot. Take the feet a little wide, and then let the legs fall to your right. And then gently let them fall to the left. A few times. We're going to take that body to center. You want the feet to be a little outside of our hips. So we're going to practice our bridge pose. I do invite you to lift the hips away from that mat. We're going to take a few breaths right where we are. I now invite you to take the hips to the mat and lift away one more time, finding our bridge. Taking a few settling breaths. And release those hips. Ground them to the mat and then hug knees to the chest. A few settling breaths here as we stretch out that low spine. I now invite you, we're going to release the hip or the feet to the mat. And we're going to slowly make our way, rolling the body to that left side. We're going to take a few breaths here. I do invite you, we're going to roll the body, settling to that easy pose on our mat. We're going to take an inhale and we're going to extend the hands and arms shaped like a T outside of the body. And then give yourself a good hug. We're going to open it again, T-shape arms, and give yourself a good hug. One more time, T-shape arms, and a good hug. We're going to hold and give ourselves a good hug here for 5 settling breaths. I now invite you, releasing the hands to the knees. And we're going to start that Sufi roll or Sufi grind. We're going to do both sides, so it don't matter what side you start with. I started taking it to my right, circle around to the left and center. And settling to that center, take that movement the opposite direction. I now invite you, we're going to settle to that easy pose, palms upward on our knees. Dropping the shoulders down away from our ears. I do invite you to roll the shoulders a few times here. Settling into that easy pose today, palms upward. Taking a few settling breaths. Your eyes can be open, gaze soft or closed here. This is a time to tune in a little deeper as you breathe. With each inhale and exhale, release any stress or tightness or tension you feel. Let it go. I do invite you, taking the hands to the tummy and continuing with our settling breath. Inhale through our nose, gentle exhale the mouth. I now invite you, we are going to lie down on the left side of our body today. So this might be a time for a pillow, a little blanket, whatever feels comfortable for your body. We are going to extend that left leg straight, and then keeping the right knee bent. We're going to take the hands and relax. Let the side of that left temple relax on the hands, or a pillow here, your choice. I invite you to close the eyes. Relaxing the forehead and jawline. Continue with that settling breath in through your nose and a gentle sigh of the mouth. Bringing that little more awareness to the breath and the sensations you're feeling throughout that body. Maybe give it a name here. Is it bliss? Is it enlightenment? Is it your peace, your calm?